I believe that opportunity looks a lot like hard work. When I was 13, I had my first job with my dad carrying shingles up to the roof. And then I got a job washing dishes at a restaurant. And then I got a job in a grocery store deli. And then I got a job in a factory sweeping Cheerio dust off the ground. And I've never had a job in my life that I was better than. I was always just lucky to have a job. And every job I had was a stepping stone to my next job. And I never quit my job until I had my next job. And so opportunities look a lot like work.
Because people think I often, well, that's for those people over there, or when I get myself together, I'm gonna live on purpose.
Correct.
But you say it is possible wherever you are right now, Facebook, anywhere in the world watching us, that even if you're in the middle of a disaster,
right,
you can use that disaster for direction.
Absolutely, because it is through the disaster, it is through the adversity that our strength is developed. If everything went the way you wanted it to go, you wouldn't have anything to exercise by. It's a gymnasium of life where you get the workout, the resistance, and you find out things about yourself that you didn't know. I'm stronger than I thought I was. I'm tougher than what I thought I was. I'm more resilient than I thought I was. And that self-respect stops you from being at the mercy of other people to validate you, to make you feel good about who you are.
Don't be afraid to fail, because if you're afraid to fail, then you're always holding yourself back because you're afraid that if you go all out, you may fail. Well, in weightlifting, we learned that very quickly. The only way you could break a record is if you're willing to fail. That's when you put on more weight, you try it, sometimes you will not be able to lift it, which has happened to me many times, but eventually, when you train hard enough, you will lift it. So don't be afraid to fail. I mean, how far can you fall?
Here's maybe the greatest thing a teen or anyone in this room and who's watching on the television at home can learn from the champ. These are words to remember when anyone tries to tell you to give up, tell you to give in, because whatever you're trying to do is impossible. The champ said this: impossible is just a word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing. Greatest quote ever. So, as a relatively new dad and a former teen, I'm here to say you will make mistakes along the way. You will fall down. I have, many times. Even Ali did. But what we do after that fall is how we make history, because impossible is nothing.
Most people have great goals. I want to increase my income and lose weight and get out of debt and be thin and happy and healthy and have a wonderful family. But then they decide, but before I start, I'm going to take a vacation to a beautiful place called Someday Isle. And in my estimation, 80% of the population lives on Someday Isle. Someday I'll lose some weight, and someday I'll read that book and listen to that program and join the Yes Network, and someday I'll get out of debt, someday I'll increase my income, but it's always Someday Isle. If you want to be a great success, there's one simple rule, is vote yourself off the island for life. If you decide you're going to do something, do it. You know, they've done dozens and dozens of studies over the years. They find that there's one major difference between successful people and unsuccessful people. As successful people launch, they start, they get on with it, they just do it. Unsuccessful people get the same ideas and the same information, but they've always got an excuse for not starting.
I did what I had to do in order to make the dream work. I made the commitment, knowing that it always wasn't going to be a smooth ride. But I felt like my only two choices was to either make it or not. And the not wasn't an option. So I paid whatever money I needed to pay for the public transportation to get to acting school when I was 15. And I did whatever I had to do to get my undergraduate degree in theater. I did the work. And I knew that there was no skimping on the work.
My head chef, Robert Reed, said to me, where do we go from here, Marky? And I said to him, when I was a young boy, Mr. Reed used to tell me about a restaurant in Paris called La Serre, which was the ultimate, because it had 3 stars in Michelin and 5 red knives and forks. I said, we've got 3 stars with 4 black knives and forks. Let's go for 5 red knives and forks. For the next 3 years, we pushed and we pushed and we pushed and we did everything. In January '98, we won our 3 stars with 5 red knives and forks. I'd realized my dream all those years later. And that dream I had when I was 17 years old. I was now 37 years old, so for 20 years, I'd worked to realize my dream. Things don't happen overnight. You have to make the emotional and the personal investment to make your dreams come true.
I think there's no secret to success. I mean, I think Abby definitely hit the nail on the head. It's all about hard work. It's all about going out there and practicing more than your opponent, than your teammates. It's about mentally preparing every single day. It's about not slacking off, putting in that time and work. And you could tell from Abby that she has put in that work. And that's, I think, the reason that she is so successful. But at the end of the day, there is no secret to why we are so successful.